That's better now that you can actually hear me. Let's try this again. What's up, guys? Welcome back to High Voltage Diesel. What are we doing today? Besides wasting time in this cold garage. It's cold in here. I know that everybody loves unboxing videos. Check it out. What do we got here? Titanium steel welder. This is a welder that welds titanium steel. That's pretty cool, ain't it? Anyway, we went out and got ourselves a split freight flux core only welder. MIG welder. Well, it's not a MIG welder, it's a wire feed welder because it's not. I mean, I gotta get this right because I don't want anybody to have an armchair meltdown. So this is not a MIG welder because MIG stands for metal inert gas. Well, there's no gas here unless you fart while you're welding it, and then that'll make the gas. This is just a wire feed, flux wire feed welder. So let's get this straight before anybody has a complete meltdown here. Alright, so now that we passed that point, I had a 25% off coupon and I wanted to use it on something, and I think this thing will be pretty handy to add to the high voltage garage with a low voltage welder. So I have the stick welder that is a 220, and then the other high voltage garage we have a Lincoln, I think it's a 180, and that's a 220 also. That's a MIG, that's gas. And I've been wanting something like this for a long time because this is just a 110. I can hook this thing up to the generator and run it. I've done it before. I borrowed somebody else's one time and hooked it up to my generator to fix a firewood processor I used to have, and it worked great. And ever since then, I've been wanting one, so if I have to fix something on the field that's broke down on a job or whatever, and it's just nice because you can run an extension cord out and just fix something quick, or just do it. So anyway, that's enough with the blabbling. Let's get this thing unwrapped and see what we have to work with. Check out these Swiss Army knives that they sell, guys. They got all kinds of different blades on them with different sharpnesses. These work good for cutting boxes open. For this box, we're going to want the 16 thousandths utility blade. Oh yeah, the 16 thousandths utility blade works great. Well, I had two utility blades together. Ah ha ha, stumped me. Nice and new. And I don't get many brand new things, so this is a treat.
On the bench. First I was renting, now I'm collecting rent. Run it up. First it with the Beamer, now I want the Benz. Spending all the back like here I go again. Outside says the chirp, now the camera phone. Told you I'ma keep the channels on. Why you acting different when the camera's on? Why you acting different like your paper long? 8 day wake up and I thank God. Bad decision got you wishing you could say nah. My city gritty, you could get hit any day now. On my mama, I'ma move my family way out. With some 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, zillions. I'm talking Amazon money, talking so much money I could mess around and buy Amazon. I been winning, I'm like, why me? I heard these labels wanna buy me. I don't need you, boo, I style me. I roll G's and they grind me. Now I'm on my game, nothing is the same.
I'm pretty happy with it so far. So we got some 30 thousandths Slob Smart wire, some wire, and check this out. This thing even comes with a tool to get the wire open. Ain't that something, man? I'm so happy with the quality nowadays, especially from Split Freight. I mean, this whole thing's liable to just split right in half. Well, I mean, it already did. So I've already watched a couple reviews on this welder. This isn't really a review. This is just to show off what I'm buying from all the money that I'm making from my YouTube channel, because I'm getting loaded. No, let's just get this straight. The only thing I'm loaded with is frustration because you guys aren't watching my videos. So make sure you hit that subscribe and like button and the notification bell button. And start watching my videos so I can get more views. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? This is a business. Because I had to buy this welder. See, the way it should work is you guys should buy this welder from the views you get me, because that's how all the other channels work. So start watching my videos. I mean it. I try to take you guys along with me, because I get a lot of people that watch all my videos. And it means a lot to me. Oh, they're not making this easy, are they? Alright, let's take this off first, because I don't want this wire to just spring everywhere. This welding wire can be some unforgiving stuff. Oh, wait a minute. What an idiot. Look at that, I already forgot what way this thing came off. Come on, guys, men don't read instructions. I mean, I've only set up about 500 million wire feed welders in my day, so this should be easy. You definitely don't want to let go of the wire, because that usually doesn't end well for anybody. Alright, there we go. Oh, that got a little bit hairy for a minute. See, my Lincoln welder I have is much bigger. That's on the side. That don't matter, but it's much bigger in here. And I got somewhat big hands, so this was a challenge for me to get that wire in there. Alright, let's take this apart. I usually like to, when I feed new wire through these, I usually like to take the tips off, because it just gives that much less stuff for the new wire to get bound up on. And that's assuming this thing's even going to work. I should probably plug it in and make sure it's even going to work first. We won't even take this off yet. Whoa. Good enough. Stupid thing. Got the nice convenient on switch on the back. It's even got a fan. Let's turn it on. Ooh. Look at that. Oh yeah. Look at it, that thing even says MIG on it. Liars. So it is a MIG welder. They don't even know what they make. Alright. Straighten this out. She didn't like to pull that new wire in first. I definitely ain't got it too tight. It's actually pretty loose. Yeah, we'll shut her off when we put this back on so we don't get a shock. It even comes with a 30 thousandths tip on it. All this crap back together. There we go. We're ready to weld. Not too bad for what I paid for it. I mean, buying a wire feed welder for like almost like just over $100, and this has really good reviews on it too. We're gonna put that to a test. I mean, that's really not bad, and honestly I gotta say the quality, I mean, this ground clamp is actually pretty nice. My biggest pet peeve about stuff like this is it never comes with enough cord. I don't know how many feet of cord this is, but I love the fact that this comes with a ton of cord. Because like most stuff you get, like, especially vacuum cleaners. Vacuum cleaners, when you use them, they're made to roll around. And look at this. This thing only comes with like 8 feet of cord. It's ridiculous. I can't stand, like, put like 20 feet of cord on it. But everything is so disposable nowadays. A welder, yeah, it's not going to move around like a vacuum, but you are going to move the machine around. But I love the fact it looks like this is probably like at least 8 or 10 feet of cord on a welder, which is great. That's awesome. So that's my favorite thing about this so far. Yeah, it'd be nice if the lead was a little longer. The actual lead itself is pretty cheap, but alright, so, believe it or not, you would think that high voltage diesel would have some scrap metal laying around to test a brand new welder out, right? Well, we do. As you can see, the weather is just beautiful. And there's the scrap metal pile. It's got some big stuff sticking out. But that is a 3-foot tall snowbank. And I have no idea what's under there. There's probably nothing even under there. So, I found a couple pieces, which I would imagine that this is basically right on the borderline of what this can weld. And this stuff, this is at least, now it's close to 1/4 inch. But it'll at least run it through its paces. And this is my job security. Because if you keep watching my channel, eventually, you'll see me use this welder on some more stuff, and then you'll see how it works. So I'm just going to give a little teaser on how this works. We'll see if it can at least weld that to that. And if it could do that and make it hold all right, well, on this metal, that is like 20 degrees. I would say it's pretty good machine. I am not going to go through all the details of this thing and be like, okay, it can weld this exact kind of metal. I mean, come on, it's a 110 volt welder, 125 amps, and I'm sure that's overrated. It's probably more like 90 amps. So, you know, you're obviously not going to weld a truck frame together with it. It's for sheet metal and little stuff like this. Anywho, let's put our ground clamp on. I really like the ground clamp. It's actually really good quality. We're just gonna set our power setting right here to all of it. And, well, we'll start off by putting the wire feed around 9. And we'll see what happens. I literally can't believe I forgot to push record on this. Unreal. I was just that excited. Well, anyway, here's the first bead. Must be so excited to get a new toy, I completely forgot to push record on this thing. Alright, I am very, very impressed with the first bead. Look at that. Alright, I didn't really want to waste my other good piece of angle iron, but for you guys it's worth it. So we're gonna do another bead. And I know we're recording this time. Guys, this is insane. This is only a 125 welder and it's burning right through this. See how red that got? These aren't really ideal welding conditions. This is just to basically make sure it works so I don't have to take it back and exchange it. I just want to make sure it works before the warranty expires, because I probably ain't gonna use this a lot anytime soon. Look at that, it melted right through that. And this is pretty thick steel for a little 110 volt welder. And that's just a crappy weld, and that ain't gonna break off. That penetrated very deep. That just about melted through this 1/4 inch right here. So, very impressed. I don't have any at this location, but I would highly recommend getting some nozzle dip if you get one of these. It's basically a gel that you dip the nozzle in that prevents the spatter from sticking to the nozzle, especially on these flux core welders, because this stuff is really messy. My MIG welder, sometimes I'll use the gasless wire in it. You want to know what really welds good is when you use flux core wire with gas. It just, I mean, it just welds like butter. It's just such a nice weld. But this machine does not have a gas hookup. This is only for basically cobbling shit together that's already broke in the field, or just the convenience factor of it being 110 is so nice. Takes a minute to shut off after you actually shut the power off. But you could see if I would have kept going with that bead, that'd be a very nice bead. And I had obviously good penetration because it melted right through that. And that first one I did looks great too. Those are some nice welds for a 112 volt or $112, 125 amp, 115 volt little wire feed welder. All right, well, I gotta say, my first impressions on the titanium welder, I mean, it must weld titanium steel. Anyway, my first impressions of this welder, I absolutely love it. It was worth every penny spent. I'm super happy. I mean, I only have one bead here. Actually, let's try this. One little bead on this thing. Let's try to bust it off. Let's see how hard it breaks off. We got some good penetration. I mean, it's basically only tack welded, but I gotta say, let's break this other one off. I'm putting quite a bit of force into it for what it is. I mean, it breaks, but you know, you gotta keep in mind, we're welding with very cold steel that is not preheated and 2 different thicknesses together. So, you know, it's not going to be the perfect weld, but I gotta say, you know, we had pretty good penetration here for what we're dealing with, you know. And this thing obviously ain't no 200 amp stick welder, but we're basically welding with a little Mickey Mouse welder, and I have to say, I am super impressed in this thing. Totally recommend buying this if you're looking for a little cheap welder that'll get the job done. 100%. I'm super happy so far. Probably a lot of it's the wire too. I like buying good wire. I actually bought the better wire than what Split Freight sells. I did use Split Freight wire before, and I did not like it. This is the TSC wire, the Slob Smart, and That's better, but I usually like to buy my wire from like a welding store. Same thing with the rods and stuff. It just seems like the wire's better quality. So it's not always the welder. It's a lot of times the wire or the rods that you're using with it have a lot to play into what you're welding. So if you get a welder and it welds like crap, I wouldn't just immediately blame the welder. I would look into what kind of wire and rods you're using depending on what kind of welder you have. Okay, y'all. Well, that's all I have for this one. Did you have an armchair meltdown? Because I sure didn't. I'm very happy with my purchase here. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully you guys will be seeing this on the channel for years to come. I really can't wait to use it on something. I literally have nothing to use it on. It was one of those things, I got a 25% off coupon. I'm like, and it expires in 2 days. And I'm like, I have to use it on something. And I've been wanting one of these little 110 welders for a long time. It's just so convenient to, you know, like I've said, it's just so convenient. You know, I could run it on the generator and stuff like that. So I went out and got myself one. There was a couple different ones to choose from. This was the better one of the two. And I am very happy with it so far. So hopefully next time we use this, it's on a fun project. Probably that tower or something like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Does any of you guys have one of these? What do you think about it? I like it so far. It gets the stamp of the approval. Oh, till next time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you actually like me watching this. And we will see you guys in the next video. End of transmission.